Hello, now this is really weird and I'm hoping that this is coming across the right way around for you. But when I look at the preview, my screen looks the right way around, but looking at it now, it might not be, so I'm hoping for the best. Here are 4 simple improvements you could make to some key numbers in your business, and the effect would be to add anything from 30, 40, 50, 80% to your bottom line. So if we look at our number of customers, here we've got 1,000, how often they buy, 4 times a year. How much they spend each time, 100. That would tell us our revenue is 400,000. We know our cost of sales, so in this case it's 60, which means we're making 40 on everything we sell. So our gross profit would be 40% of 400,000, which is 160,000. We'll have some other overheads, fixed costs, things like wages, rents, rates, salaries, those sort of things. The things you have to pay for whether you're selling anything or not. Take those off, and that will give us our operating profit, 80,000 in this instance. Now, if we could make a 5% increase to the number of customers we have, the frequency they buy, the amount they spend each time on average, those 3 changes will automatically increase our gross margin. So those 3 changes will make a big difference to our bottom line. So if we could get our customers up by 50 to 1,050, a 5% increase, by having maybe better follow-up procedures in terms of how we track people and nurture people through what we call the buyer's journey, and by having lead magnets to attract them to engage with us earlier on in the buyer's journey rather than when they're finally now buyers, which is only about 3% of prospects. 70% we could engage with earlier with the right sort of strategies. So we get that up by 5%. We could have regular offers and communicate more regularly with customers and have proper procedures and systems in place to do that. We could go from 4 to 4.2 times a year on average that they buy. We could have a cross-sell and upsell. We could have bundled in extra value. We could have different packages, gold, silver, bronze. All of those would be ways of increasing our average price without necessarily even putting up our headline price, which we could do as well, of course. So we get that up by 5%. We work the numbers out. Our revenue now goes to 463,000 instead of 400,000. Our cost of sales, we can reduce them by 5%. So I've made a 5% improvement there. Get that down from 60 to 57. Our gross profit goes from 160,000 to 222,264. And if we can make a 5% improvement in our fixed overheads as well, we would actually get our bottom line operating profit from 80,000 to 146,000. So what we've done is we've made a 5% improvement in how many customers we've got, how often they buy, how much they spend each time, and we've also made an improvement on our cost of sales by 5% by cutting out waste, by having maybe fewer suppliers, lower stock levels, better systems in place. And then we look at our overhead. So we'd be looking at things like utility bills and see if there's any scope for savings there. Those 5 lots of 5% improvements take our bottom line operating profit from 80,000 to 146,000. So 5 lots of 5% produce an 83% bottom line improvement, which I think is pretty impressive. And to be honest, that's something most businesses could do. You might not get 83%, you might only get 40 or 50%, but it will definitely have a big effect on your bottom line if you make those sorts of improvements. I hope you found that interesting and useful. Thank you very much for watching.